I know it's not a two-bell Tuesday, but what the hell? Indiana got the win last night against Alabama A&M, so we celebrate. Colts have the game against the Falcons this coming Sunday, 9:30 in the morning. Remember, it's coming to us from Berlin, Germany. It'll be on Fox 59 locally, NFL Network nationally, globally. We'll see what happens with the Colts after the acquisition of Sauce Gardner. Here's the thing with Sauce Gardner. Either this trade is going to go this way or it's going to go that way. I don't think there's a lot of room for in between with this thing. Either it's going to be great or it's going to be bad. We will go over the worst possible scenario for this trade and the best possible scenario for this trade. We'll do the best first because, you know what, that's the happiest. And we want to lead happy and we want to be optimistic about the Indianapolis Colts. Let's go. We're going to talk about the Hoosiers. How about they hit every foul shot last night? How about that? That is a good result for Indiana. Indiana kind of looked like Indiana last night. They hit a bunch of shots. They played tenacious defense. They did a good job blocking out. And I think it foretells decent looking basketball. Now, whether they're able to beat a team like Marquette this coming Sunday at Chicago at the United Center, I don't know. Are they going to be able to beat Louisville or are they going to be able to beat Kentucky? I don't know. We're going to find out together. But they looked pretty good last night, and of course they did because they were playing Alabama A&M. But I thought just on their own, we had some guys like Reed Bailey, who's kind of a surprise a little bit, and looked like somebody who might be able to play. Sam Alexis, a little bit too. We got to know these guys a little bit, which is really, really nice. I enjoyed it. IU football, they got a game coming up Saturday, noon, at Happy Valley. They win this one. I think it's safe to assume Kurt Cignetti would not be happy with this, but I think it's safe to assume they win out in the regular season and they wind up 12-0, coming to Indianapolis to play in the Big Ten championship game, which was kind of a pipe dream. Even knowing what we know about Kurt Cignetti and the Hoosiers, it was a pipe dream at the beginning of this season because you had in front of Indiana, you had Penn State, you had Ohio State, you had Oregon. And two of those teams, opponents on the road for Indiana. And that was going to make it difficult. We're going to talk about the Pacers who lost last night. Very, very disappointed in the start for the Pacers, despite the fact that they've lost a bunch of games. You got to find a way to beat the winless Nets, for God's sake. And the Pacers could not do that. Down the stretch, they wilted. This is Breakfast with Kent for Thursday, November 6th, 2025, brought to you by the great people at YouTube TV. Yes, YouTube TV. I know, no Disney channels. So there's not a lot going on there. But you know what? They're holding the line because they value your money as much as you value your money. And they don't want you to have to spend more than a certain price point to get access to ESPN, ABC, Disney, FX, all of the Disney-owned products that are on YouTube TV. They take good care of us. That's the way I choose to see it. There will be a link in the show description that lets you click on it and sign up for YouTube TV. I understand that this message is not exceptionally well timed. They're going to figure this out, but they're going to figure it out to our advantage as consumers. And I dig that about them. Make sure and become a member, because when you become a member, then you can join us on the All Member Saturday show early on Saturday, which is excellent and a lot of fun. Let's go. Joseph Clearwater, welcome as a breakfast buddy. Awesome. You can join us on Saturdays. We answer all comments. It's just a casual get-together talking about sports. No notes, no nothing, no agenda. Sick one 317, shout out from the far side of Indy. Become a subscriber, and you could win this Riley Leonard autographed, or we've got 4 jerseys from former Indianapolis Colts as well that we're giving away over the next 5 weeks. Can't wait to give those away, perhaps to you, but you've got to be a subscriber to be eligible, and you've got to use a phrase that pays in order to enter. And the phrase that pays today is go IU, because IU got the big win yesterday. I know I'm wearing a Colts frock. Maybe I should be wearing an IU frock, but we're going to lead with the Colts. And that's what we're going to do. Hit the like button, smash that like button. And if you want to make a donation, as we've gotten some already this morning, make a donation, no big whoop, but include a comment or a question that elevates the level of discourse on the channel. Can you? We will work through those. Eric Dobby, now you get steak sauce with the next delivery. Love the show, Ken. Thank you. Eric Dobby has sent me some steaks, which is very, very nice. We appreciate that, Eric. Nice of you. Randy Smith says IU basketball looks a lot better from last year, and they actually look like they enjoy playing with each other. This is nice to watch. I could not agree more that they looked like they had fun together. Now, you're going to have fun together playing against Alabama A&M. The true test of this team is going to be whether they can find a way to play well together and have fun together in a close game or a game where they're behind a little bit and continue to roll as a unit instead of fracture and become 5 parts instead of, one. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be really, really interesting as we move forward watching this team. Now, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, because that trade with the New York Jets, where they acquired, Colts did, Sauce Gardner, one of the elite cornerbacks in the NFL, gave up 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell. The best result, I think, obviously, is Sauce Gardner stays healthy, Mooney Ward gets healthy, and with the back end of that defense solidified with those 2 elite-level cover corners, those guys can get after it playing man. The Colts win a bunch of games, win 12, win 13 games, let's say 13. They're the number 1 seed. They roll through the playoffs at home, and they go to the Super Bowl. That is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario, is that this becomes a Trent Richardson trade. Somehow Sauce Gardner can't keep away from the McDonald's like Trent Richardson couldn't. He eats his way into running a 4.6 40 instead of a 4.4 40. He cannot play press corner anymore. And this thing goes completely south. And the Colts have no way to rescue themselves from the abyss that they fall in, because they don't have first-round draft picks in 26 or 27. That's the worst-case scenario. I don't think that's going to happen, because if Sauce Gardner was going to be an irresponsible mope and eat his way out of the NFL, you know what? I think we'd already seen it. He was drafted in 22. He is still playing at an elite level. The statistics aren't as good if you look at the wrong statistics. The statistics that you should pay attention to with Sauce Gardner, how often is his receiver targeted? And the answer is 1 every 20.9 snaps. That is ridiculous. That leads all NFL corners with more than 20 reps. So there you go. That is what Sauce Gardner was earlier with the Jets, and likely what he is going to remain with the Colts. Now, the great thing about the Colts is they've got a bookend corner in Mooney Ward, who's likely to be activated post the bye week. You got the Falcons game, then you got the bye week, then you got the Chiefs in Kansas City. Likely to be activated and on the field playing against the Chiefs. Those 2 guys together on the field, it's kind of like John Winger and Lee Harvey. Forget about it. I think those guys are going to lead this defense to where it needs to go. Everything is complementary in the game of football. So when you've got a great back end, the front end is going to prosper because they're going to have more time to get to the quarterback, and Latu is getting near the quarterback more often and more often and more often. So, yes, there are good days ahead for the Indianapolis Colts if this trade works out. AR is finished here. Get a guy in the draft who can play. Brian Burton says, well, I think they think that maybe they got one in Riley Leonard. They did not deal for a backup quarterback, a veteran backup quarterback. Riley Leonard, I think, is an interesting backup. I think he can play. He's a good competitor. All he's got to do is make the right throw at the right time. He's got to process things mentally, intellectually, in order to be a success. He's got all the physical attributes necessary to be a really good game manager. Don't need to throw a football 85 miles an hour, 85 yards. Kyle Long says, good on Chris, big 3 for making the right move and going out of his comfort zone. I knew they would do this. You can't just not do anything while 7-2. That's true. Others around you are getting better. You must get better. And the Colts really did. And hopefully they're young enough that they can continue to prosper despite the lack of first-round draft picks in 26 and 27. Actually, I think it could be a bonus because you got to guarantee money, and it's not an insignificant amount of money for those first 4 years, and then you've got a fifth-year option, which is expensive. All right, and if you don't expend those draft picks, well, you got a real problem. Why cut AR when they know what they have in him is a backup with a rookie contract versus release him and look for an unknown? Plus, he gets all his money. You've paid him. Like he's getting 100% of his dollars in that deal. There's no reason to cut him, right? And I'm talking about long term. I think Anthony Richardson will be with the Colts next year. I don't think he'll be with the Colts the year after that. They will not exercise his fifth-year option. A fourth overall player is really, really expensive. But the worst-case scenario, hopefully, we don't need to worry about the worst-case scenario. A win this weekend would be humongous. To get to 8-2 with that trip to Kansas City looming and Mooney Ward coming back after the bye, I think would be stupendous. A loss, if this trade goes south, it makes the Colts irrelevant at least until 2028. Like this is putting a lot of chips on ate the hard way. You know what I mean? Not really. But the payoff is huge. The loss can be huge as well. We'll see. I think it's interesting. Saucy Sunday. I like that, Brian. Maybe we'll do that as the phrase that pays on Sunday. IU last night, 98-51. They could have scored 120 in this game. Lamar Wilkerson, we saw last night he can flat shoot. He had 19, 4 of 10 from beyond the arc. We saw Tucker DeVries. He shoot it too, 18 and 11. I thought he was a steadying force for this team. He's an old man comparatively, so he would be a steadying force. Sam Alexis, I thought, looked really good. The transfer from Florida, who didn't get a lot of run at Florida, I thought he was terrific last night. He had 17 in 20 minutes. And I really liked Reed Bailey with 21 points last night in 5. Reed Bailey's the kind of guy, he's either the kind of guy who's going to be able to get 21 against a terrible team and really not look very good against a good team, or he's going to be the kind of guy who can get 21 against everybody. I don't know which, because we didn't see that much of him last night. We haven't seen him play against anybody good. So that's going to be a challenge, and we're going to see how he responds to that challenge. But I thought at least against a team like Alabama A&M, they looked like they had coalesced a little bit, and they're playing as 5, as 1, I guess, as 5 as 1, instead of 5 with different agendas. They all seem to have the same agenda, and that is that's an exceptionally good thing. Terrence Mann had 15 points last night. He did. And the Pacers lost that game last night to the Nets, 112-103. But back to Indiana for a minute. I know this isn't necessarily endemic of what is going to occur with Indiana. One of the things you got to look for is Indiana, because of lack of size, they're going to have a tough time guarding the post, and they're going to have a tough time rebounding. What they did last night was limit offensive rebounds. A&M had only 3 last night. That is a real positive. Pacers lost. They were outscored 32-20 in the fourth, so they lost by 9. Siakam had 23, 6, and 10. Shepard was 16. Jay Huff with 16 points, 18 minutes. They fell to 1-7 on the year. What do? You keep trying to win games, and you try to do it with all 82 games. You got 74 games left. Keep rowing and hope that you make up some ground somehow or another. 2 days until IU Penn State. IU is a 4. Oh, by the way, Colts are a 6.5-point favorite in Germany against Atlanta. That makes me nervous. That's 6.5. IU, because I don't know how people are going to travel when they go to Europe. I don't know. Is Atlanta going to travel better than the Colts? We're going to find out Sunday morning. I get hanky about these Europe games from an investor standpoint. IU minus 14.5 at Penn State. The keys, Plain's got to make it to State College. I think Indiana wins this game, and I think they win going away. The Hoosiers need to continue to strive to reach their potential every snap. They can't take any time off. Pacers coach on the hot seat? No. He just went to the finals with a team without a star. No, I think he's just fine. No turnovers, no pre-snap penalties for IU. That's true with every team. Missed tackles, also a pox upon the Hoosiers. Take the crowd out of it early. Eliminate all hope in the first quarter. That'd be a good thing. Keep Katron Allen from moving sticks. That's important. Because they have no offense with Allar being out. You've got Grunkemeyer, and you got to have him make more mistakes than he makes plays. You do that, you're going to win. Randy Smith says Pacers tank. They'll win a championship in 2 years. Nobody tanks. You can't tank. You definitely can't tank here. Chris had to be eyeing Gardner for a while. You don't make a move like that without doing your homework. Sertan was definitely unavailable, so you go with the next best thing. He keeps his eye on everything. That is a guy, all warts aside, that guy dots I's and crosses T's. He prepares. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? Bernie Miller, happy birthday. David Sumner, happy birthday. Jordan Height, happy birthday. Eric Casillas, happy birthday. Kimberly Owen McNamara, celebrating a birthday as well. Eric Casillas, I actually sent $5,000 to of Emmis Communications money and didn't get a thing out of it. No, nothing against Eric. Eric did exactly what he was supposed to do, but we screwed up. And so $5,000 went to Eric. He was supposed to do a fantasy football night, come into Indy and do that. And I don't even remember what the circumstances were, but the screw up was he didn't come. So there you go. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else that's best done with an honest and specific compliment. If you lift people up, you're going to feel good about it, and they're going to lift people up, and all of a sudden we got a domino effect, a butterfly effect that's going to be absolutely beautiful, and we'll solve all our problems in the micro, and we won't have any problems in the macro. Wouldn't that be nice? Yes. We're going to be a little bit late today, probably 5 o'clock with Inside Indiana Sports Now. Can't wait to talk to you then.